Hello everyone, Dr. Smith, physical therapist here. Today's video is going to be a bit different. I'm actually breaking down why I believe physical therapy, or at least insurance-based physical therapy, is dying. Unfortunately, there's a toxic attitude, a cancer if you will, in PT that actually leads to burnout and ultimately many people leaving clinical practice and the profession altogether. Now before I get into this, please like this video, please subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications if you want to, and as always, please comment below with any questions, complaints, concerns. I have talked about mindset being the #1 problem in physical therapy before, and this still applies. Now many of you saw my prior video where I was making my points that a physical therapist, a doctor of physical therapy, should not be expected to wipe patients' butts based on the fact that you're not taught how to do it in school, it's not on your licensing exam, it's not in your employment contract, and no other doctoring professional is expected to do that. What happened? I got attacked by multiple older PTs, newer PTs, PTs that are mostly employees that said, I've done this for 37 years, shut up, you're a bad person, it's dehumanizing to work with you. All feelings. Nobody actually argued my points. I also welcomed a video response and actually doubled down in the video on the tweet that I actually made originally, and I'll continue to double down on my points because I still have welcomed a video response for over 48 hours and nobody made a response. All that's happened is I was name called, attacked, told I'm a bad person, and all these things, yet I'm the one that has worked for 3 years, semi-retired, created the job for myself, and trying to advocate for people's rights. It's ironic that people can't look in the mirror and be like, hey, maybe that's not my job. Now, I never said not to help in extreme situations, but also I'm not going to tell you to enable management of a hospital system to not have the proper support staff. The craziest thing about all of this is that my points were never argued. All that happened was I was screamed at and told that because I've done it for so long, you should too. I don't care about my employment contract. I don't care about my rights. I don't care that no other doctoring profession has done it. And again, this is just an example, but it's not just me that has experienced this. Many people have reached out to me, when they try to stand up at their jobs, they get attacked by their employers, they get attacked by the professors, and again, school actually promotes, and the APTA promotes, professionalism, which ultimately, as I've stated many times before, is just a fancy way of saying you're a good employee. When you're your own boss, professionalism actually doesn't matter because you're in charge of it, it's your business, your company. So at the end of the day, this is what's going to drive people out of PT and burn PTs out. Now, I've obviously advocated for PTs. I try to tell you your rights, go over videos, do certain things, and yeah, I do name call and fuck around, but if you're gonna act like a cuck, a beta, a simp, I'm gonna call you out on that. But if you can't look in the mirror and say, hey, maybe I'm being a fucking doormat for my employer, and you're just gonna attack me on your feelings, this is why all the cuts are coming. And what's crazy is this attitude of, I'm gonna be a bitch for my employer. I'm gonna be a fucking doormat. I'm gonna tell students or tell my new employees, the new grads, to be a fucking doormat because I'm a doormat and because, I clean patients, so it's not my job. They should too, it's expected. I've had students reach out to me because their CIs are gonna fail them for not cleaning a patient. That's fucked up. That's just ultimately fucked up based on the points I mentioned before. And what's crazy is that these same people that praise their employers and do this, they are directly responsible for the cuts we've seen since 2019. Why did PDPM happen, PDGM happen? Because prior, in Part A, reimbursement was therapy driven, which means that the more therapy you provided, the more money the institutions got, and guess what? The same people arguing me were like, oh, I love my employer, I'm gonna go and just do whatever and commit lots of fraud. And they committed so much fraud that Medicare was like, okay, we want our fucking money back. And that's why nothing happened with PDPM and PDGM. You can still make money in both settings, SNF and home health, after the cuts, but it's harder than it was before. With Part B, the same thing. These same people that work in Part B just went and abused units, overbilled units, billed for things they shouldn't have billed for, provided non-skilled services. And again, Medicare wants their money back. But what's ultimately crazy is the same people yelling at me for calling them out and saying, hey, that's not your job, are the same exact people directly responsible for burning new grads out, for burning students out, for all the cuts coming. And the PTA cut is coming now too, which is crazy because it's actually not the PTA's fault because they do things dictated per legislation from PTs. So now PTAs are also going to get fucked because of all of this behavior. They failed with PDPM, they failed with PDGM, they failed with the cuts this year. So why the fuck is it going to be different this year? And most likely isn't. These people are actually the cancer in PT, and they will continue to fuck this profession. So how do you fix this? You have to either go cash pay, start your own business, be your own boss, even if it's not therapy related. Now I will tell you, go into home health, travel, etc. to make a lot of money, but then get out and get away from this toxic environment. And it's not going to change. It's probably going to get worse, especially when cuts continue to come. And I'll make a separate video on what's going to happen for PTAs and what I think you should do moving forward as far as business, investing, and so on. But ultimately, the same people screaming feelings and not arguing points are the same people who let employers abuse them and are directly responsible for the cuts coming. And that's why therapy, or at least insurance-based therapy, is going to die, and why many people only work clinically for a few years and they're like, fuck this. Anyway, I just want to make this video because I feel like it's an important message that needs to get out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.